After 2 days of sleepless escape, I finally left the scope of the capital. I rested by the lake for a while, then planned to continue running away and head to the academy. Suddenly, I noticed that 3 robbers were robbing a stranger girl across the lake. I stepped forward to attract the attention of the robbers, but in the end, they wanted to rob me. At this moment, the girl wearing the red cloak used magic to solve them. To thank me for my previous behavior, she invited me to her home.
The current location is the Belland Plain. The weather is very nice today. The sky has stopped raining and the dark clouds are slowly dissipating. The sun is willing to emerge from behind the clouds. The combination of a deep blue sky, clear lake water, and emerald green grassland creates a very beautiful picture. On the boundless plain, a gentle breeze blows and some small grasses mischievously follow the wind to farther places. The beautiful scenery here makes people want to sit here and enjoy it for a while longer. Moen happened to run to the Belland Plain. He spread his hands and legs wide open and lay down on the lawn to rest very casually. It seems that he has already felt tired. His hair was messy when he ran away. His face and body were covered in a lot of dirt, and his clothes were also a bit tattered by him. The morning sunshine shone on him, making him feel some warmth. He looked at the sky and whispered, 2 days and 2 nights, I finally managed to escape from the capital's territory. The gentle breeze blew over Moen's face, causing him to slowly close his eyes and feel the tenderness of the breeze. Having been fleeing relentlessly without rest, his body remained in a state of constant tension. Now, he is in a quiet environment which makes him feel very relaxed. Morning sunlight, the breeze tinged with the scent of fresh grass. The moment I relax even a little, the fatigue comes flooding in. Maybe I should nap first. No, I haven't reached the time to slack off yet. Just as Moen was about to fall asleep, he suddenly opened his eyes. He still can't rest peacefully. After all, Anne is still searching for his whereabouts. Moen immediately stood up from the grass. He gently pulled the simple piece of clothing on his body with both hands, and then lifted his head to look into the distance. He pondered over the current situation. Just separated by a city distance, with Anne's means if she were to track me down, I would definitely be caught up by her soon. There are only 2 ways to completely get rid of her, to go to Campbell territory or back to Santa Maria College. In terms of distance, returning to college is obviously closer. Moen walked to the shores of Lake Belland. He squatted down and quickly scooped up a few spoonfuls of water with his hands to wash his face, allowing himself to wake up from his drowsy state. Then he also simply washed his body and clothes with water, removing the dirt that had adhered to them. Moen casually wiped his face and body with his hand, wiping away the water stains on them. The cold lake water stimulated his head, making him feel much clearer than before. He lifted his hair behind his ear and looked ahead with a determined gaze, saying the location he was going to next. My mind is slightly clearer. Let's keep this momentum and push straight to St. Maria College. After a simple rest, Moen planned to leave here immediately to avoid being quickly caught up by him. However, just as Moen was about to leave the Belland Plain, he suddenly heard a sound coming from across the lake. Stop. Do you think we're dead or something? Moen turned his head to look across the lake and noticed the figures of 3 men and 1 girl. If you know what's good for you, hang over anything valuable. If you behave better, we won't do anything to you. But if you resist, don't blame us. It seems that they are the robbers in this area from their words. The person standing in the middle has a small braid and a scar on their right eye. He was wearing red cloaks and had a knife tied around his waist. He crossed his hands on his chest and looked at the person in front with a very arrogant expression on his face. He appears to be the leader among the three of them. The people standing on either side of the leader are his subordinates. The person on the left has a red ribbon tied to their left eye and is wearing a white cloak. The person on the right is a bald and strong man with a big sword on his back. Standing in front of them was a girl wearing a burgundy cloak. She held a vegetable basket in her left hand and a magic wand in her right hand, looking like she had just returned from buying groceries from the market. As a result, on her way home, she was stopped by the robbers. However, she did not feel afraid about it. She lowered her head and gave a warning to the three robbers. I am an adventurer. If you want to steal my things, do you think about the consequences? The leader of the three robbers, Scarman, was not scared by the girl's warning. He still looked at her with a very arrogant posture and said mocking words to her. We can certainly know that you are an adventurer, but you are a magician, right? I don't feel any fighting spirit from you at all. If you have companions, even those who can only hold us back for a moment, we must run as far as we can. But now you are alone. Taking advantage of the three robbers' lack of attention, the girl in the cloak slowly took a step back. She was contemplating strategies to deal with them while tightly gripping her wand and aiming at them. She continued to warn them with a cold tone. You rob in broad daylight. Aren't you afraid a passing hero might step in and punish you? Passing hero? Scarman burst out laughing, seemingly indifferent to the girl's words. The girl noticed the attention he was drawn to by her words and continued to secretly step back. She did this to take the opportunity to distance herself from them so that she could have enough space to cast magic and attack them. At this moment, Scarman seemed to have not yet noticed the girl's little movements. He gave her a wicked smile and patted his chest with his hand. He mocks her. Haven't you noticed it yet? We are professional mountain bandits. You know what professionalism is? After Scarman had just finished speaking, his two followers suddenly took a pose. The robber wearing a white cloak placed his right hand on his waist, then raised his left hand and said their slogan to the girl. Make a plan in advance. The bald man followed his movements, lifted his right hand and shouted slogans. Clear work route. Accurately determine the target. Ensure that everything is foolproof. This is called professionalism. The Scarman's followers stood behind with smiles, posing in the posture they had designed. Scarman walked up to them and posed with them in what he thought was the most handsome posture, shouting his slogan. He looked ahead with a confident smile, seeming very satisfied with their slogans and posture. Suddenly, Scarman pulled out the long sword placed on his waist. He gave her a wicked smile and aimed the blade at the girl. Don't step back any further. I know what you're trying to do. You want to distance yourself from us and release magic to attack us, right? He had already figured out what the girl's intention was to keep retreating. Scarman slowly approached the girl while giving her a warning. If you dare to take another step back, don't blame me for cutting off your hand. Seeing that Scarman already knew her plan, the girl frowned and felt a little unhappy. She thinks the current situation is a bit bad for her. She tightly grasped her wand and pondered what to do next. Scarman lifted his hand and casually lifted his bangs. He remembered what the girl had said to him just now. He looked at the girl with a relaxed smile and continued to explain the situation around him to her. As for the righteous hero you mentioned, We have already surveyed the surrounding area in advance. No one usually passes by. The hero of justice you mentioned is simply impossible." He stopped. Suddenly, Moen swam quickly from the other side of the lake to the robbers and the girl. He shouted loudly at the robbers to stop their movements. The two followers of Scar Man were scared when they saw a person suddenly appear in the lake and quickly ran behind him, tightly holding on to him. Moen placed his hands on his waist and looked at the robbers with a serious expression. The robber wearing a white cloak exclaimed in surprise upon seeing Moen's attire. "The blonde mermaid?" The bald man was angry at his words. "This is not a mermaid. See clearly, this is a man."